Warning, this video is intended for adult collectors. It contains plastic collectibles, questionable opinions, and the guy that won't leave Scott McNeil alone. You have been warned. This is Random Review.
Hello everyone, welcome back to the TJOmega channel and welcome back to Yolopark. Once again, we're going to be taking a look at their AMK Pro series, and this is an incredibly exciting one for me. I love me some IDW 1.0 and I love the DJD, meaning I am extremely excited to bring you Tarn. You have no idea how excited I was when this one showed up. So, before I begin, I will let you guys know, if you like what you see, and I promise you, you're going to like what you see, you can use the link in the description below this video to go to visit Yolopark and order one for yourselves. Trust me, this is going to be an experience, and I'm very, very happy to share it with you. So, for those who have never gotten into an AMK Pro figure before, let me show you exactly what is inside the box. You're going to get 3 trays of parts with which you will be assembling your Tarn. Now, typically, the parts are spread across 2 different trays, and there's a lot to build. But here, Tarn is going to be a little bit easier to build. A lot of things are a little bit more assembled than normal. That is because tray number 2 is entirely devoted to the second figure you get in this set, and that is Nickel. We'll be talking about her in a second. And then you get tray 3, which is going to be your display stand, your fusion cannons, etc. So yeah, Tarn is a quicker build than usual, but that is not saying anything bad about it. This thing is just... Here, well, let's just get right to it, shall we? Let us reveal the completed Tarn. And oh, is it beautiful. So the first thing that gets you when you have this guy assembled is it's magnificent. It is a huge, heavy figure. At 8.5 inches tall, this actually does a decent job with scaling with some other toy lines, like Adamus Machina, for instance, and giving you a really, really cool display piece for that. The figure itself, I mean, what do I say? Like, just look at it. Here, I'll go ahead and show you like a comparison here, because I do have Hasbro's Voyager class Tarn, and you can just see the scaling difference here. Like, the toy is gigantic, absolutely magnificent in size, very, very impressive. Like, I'm super excited over it. But yeah, like, look, just, I don't even have to say anything. It is gorgeous. This lovely mix of purples and gold and gunmetal, just getting across, just like the menacing design that is Tarn. So yeah, I think the best thing to do here is just take you on a tour of all the details, because they are vast and they are impressive. The mask is expertly crafted. You get a great look at Tarn with the Decepticon face that you know him for. You see all the weathering around the edges to give him a frayed and just worn through look. He's been through the battles, and it shows really, really well. Love the overall look of it. The gold and the Decepticon symbol, I always like seeing that. It makes me think that he really does think very highly of his status in the DJD. Across the toy itself, you're going to continue to see that weathering all the way through on everything. It's on the fusion cannon, it's on the arms. On the silver areas, you can see a little bit of corrosion even. If I rotate him around and show you like the back of the legs where you see this like piping detail, like hydraulics, you're going to see little washes of brown in there to give it a look of rust. It's a really small touch, but it goes a very long way to just making this guy look like he's been around forever. Even the back of the feet. You know, Yolopark really doesn't need to do the back of the feet, but they did, and it looks amazing. Like, they didn't skimp anywhere on this design. Like, on the inside of the foot, like, you see more, like, sculpted and painted detail in there. On the inside of the thigh, You've got gearing and pistons that are done up in little hits of gold to make them stand out as individual parts. Around the pelvis section, you still have more of the weathering. And then there's these just like brilliant color mixes. So a design touch I really like in IDW 1.0 is a lot of characters have this energon showing through their designs. And for Tarn, you have these hits of pink going through that seems to be just like his energy showing through the armor. Absolutely gorgeous. Like, the overall design is just, magnificent. I love the design of Tarn to begin with. The treads for the torso, the very wide shoulder stance. Like, in Cyberverse, they described him as the perfect Decepticon. And he kind of is, He's everything you'd want out of a Decepticon soldier. So, being an action figure, I tell you, from AMK Pro, you're going to get die-cast in a lot of your parts, but it's actually exceptionally well used in this figure. You're going to find a lot of it in the torso's shoulders, as well as the pelvis and hips, because they're using it for the internal structure of the articulation. That means it is very solid and feels smooth as you're manipulating the joints. They're very heavy duty. They're going to last you a very long time and be very tight. Great to see. But a lot of it is also dedicated to the lower parts of the legs. And die-cast in the lower parts of the legs is such a great detail because it means the toy is going to balance in poses a lot better with that low center of gravity. Not that the guy needs it, right? He does have those big old feet that are going to keep him stable no matter what stance you put him in. But yeah, just absolutely magnificent level of sculpting and painting and detail all the way through. So before I get into accessories and other tricks it does, we might as well go through the articulation and show you everything that moves on this guy. So it is a ball jointed head, so you have full 360 degrees as well as up and down. You also have a hinge at the bottom where the neck meets the torso to give you even more range of up and down. These can rotate a little bit. It's very tight though, but just in case you want them at a slightly different angle, you can do that. There is butterfly joint to the torso, and the chest will actually hinge as well to get out of the way of said butterfly joints. There's a universal shoulder joint in here we'll do over here so the fusion cannons aren't in the way. And you can see this is all double hinged, so this can get out of the way if you need to raise it a lot higher. Just great to see. It's a great, like little things like this are just great tricks that Yolopark throws in so that you can get lots of range in the shoulders despite how big all the parts are. That's just fantastic attention to detail here. So you got plenty of range in there on a universal shoulder joint. You can collapse everything back down so I can get into the rest of the posing. You have a bicep joint that's 360 degrees. You have double jointed elbows that give you a lot of range of motion. See, you got wrist joint, which is ball jointed, and then you have individual hands. So, for the hands, you have a ball joint in the thumb, you have a hinge here, so the individual index finger, and then the other three fingers are linked. So a lot of articulation in the hands to manipulate those into various poses and positions. You have a ab crunch in the torso, which goes pretty hard. And look at the range in the ab crunch. Just absolutely fantastic there. Full 360 degree rotation in the waist joint. All of these panels here are on ball joints, so those can get out of the way of poses for the hips, which are also on universal joints. This is again where we're talking very solid jointage. Thigh swivel, 360 degrees. You have this joint in the knee, and you have another one higher up. It's very, very tight. If I can get it bent, there we go. So there's your double jointed knee. Great range of posability. And I love the false knee that is behind it, filling in that gap. And then a lot in the foot. You have a full ankle tilt as well. You have these panels in the front and the back to get out of the way of any of your more extreme poses. And then you have the toe that folds up as well. So much going on. So much articulation in this figure. Like, absolutely incredible. Tarn isn't exactly known for, like, big action poses, but the fact that the toy is capable of it means a lot to me. So I appreciate that. Let's get into the accessory count, because we still have another figure to get to after this, so I need to be careful here. So you do have the fusion cannons on the side, which you can unplug, just in case, you know, this is not the arrangement you want for them. And they've done something really cool here. So you're going to find these two extra parts. And what these are, you'll go over here to this one. You'll notice on this forearm is a matching panel. This is if you want to display Tarn without the fusion cannon on the side. You can swap these two parts out and actually accomplish that. And then there's this part that'll go over here and let you left mount the fusion cannons, giving you that option. If you want to rock him as a lefty, you can do that, which is a really cool little trick. Fusion cannons themselves are actually pretty cool. I do appreciate all the paint and wear that they've added to them. And yeah, like just the option of being able to switch the arms on it is a really cool touch. Like, not necessary, but I love the additions and the optional displays that you can do with him. Speaking of optional display, let's get into the head, where the mask is removable. And I love that this is a full removable mask rather than a swappable head. So there is Glitch, scars and all, the original Decepticon behind the mask. I love that it's so scarred up. It's very accurate to how he looked in IDW for the few times we even got to see that face. And we're going to swap in my preferred mask, which is the scarred one. Oh, it looks so cool. Oh, it looks so cool. This just doesn't do anything wrong, does it? This is just a fantastic figure that just hits, like, all of the tricks. So as long as we're actually talking about that, let us go ahead and bring in something that's very familiar if you've seen the Yolopark videos before, the display stand. Now, Tarn admittedly is a little bit bigger than the display stand as far as like his foot base goes. However, you can still use it the way that all the others are. And that is to, if you want him in kind of flying or jumping poses, you can equip that onto him. But, you know, you can see the port there on the underside where that goes. However, for this particular occasion, we need to take this display base and we need to take the Decepticon symbol off. This is a familiar trick, because on the back of these, you see a magnet. The magnet is for activating the LEDs in the head. So if I go ahead and click it over here, you can make Tarn's eyes light up, which is, of course, just going to make him look that much more menacing. If I tap it again, it goes into a flash. If I tap it again, it goes into a slow on and on pulse, which, you know, those eyes slowly turning on is the only thing that could have made him more menacing. And then we'll tap it again to turn it off. So it's a very simple LED trick, but Yolopark is very good at implementing it. Now, I will tell you, these will take an unusual battery size that offhand, I don't remember the number. I will flash it on screen here. Just go ahead and order them off Amazon if you intend to order this figure. Just save you the time. So, yeah, Tarn is magnificent. This is absolutely, I talk up Yolopark a lot because, like, they genuinely do fantastic work, but, like, without hyperbole or any kind of exaggeration, I genuinely think this is one of the best figures they've ever done. I mean, it's just imposing and impressive in every way. And it's not even done. Like, I should be done with the review right there. However, we have another full figure to cover, because it's not just Tarn, it's Nickel. And we love Nickel in this house. We love, like, Den Mother Decepticon. Nickel doesn't get enough love. Like, for as fun as she is as a character, I'm shocked that Hasbro has never presented any toy of her. So I'm thrilled that Yolopark has stepped in and given her this nice little figure. So she is also a full building experience in, right out of the box. She's not just an accessory they threw in. She is not rocking any kind of die cast, so she's a lot lighter than Tarn is, but she is still very well featured here. So this head sculpt is a little bit more close to how she originally looked before they kind of shrunk down some of the face details. So it's more like first appearance, which I think is appropriate. I like it there. Bright blue eyes, silver paint. They even got her, like, I guess, temperature meter. I don't know what the speedometer looking thing on her forehead actually is. But she's not ignored just because she is the extra figure. You can see the same weathering on her that's on Tarn. This like ice blue, this metallic blue that she's got going on still looks really, really good on her. You can see little spots of detail all over. Like they didn't miss anything, as you would expect by now. There's all that tarnish that makes her look like she's been through everything, and she probably has. And then the jetpack done up as well. She does come with a stand herself, which is either you can plug these into her feet, or you can mount it at the back here. And this is all on ball joint, so you can move this around as necessary. But she is back heavy enough to where you can put it behind her and just display her like that without the display stand kind of being in the way of whatever you're doing, which is really, really neat. So articulation-wise, ball joint in the head, full 360 and a bit of up and down. You have ball joint in the shoulders. She's a little bit more restricted there, but she does have an additional hinge at the top of the shoulder, bicep rotation and elbow bend 90 degree. You have a wrist that is also ball jointed as well, so you have plenty of range and motion there. Waist joint, waist joint works very tight. Ball joint in the hip, knee bend 90 degree. Here's a neat thing. So she has wheel feet, which is going to present any kind of stability problems, hence why she comes with the stand. However, you can still adjust it in case you do want to stand her on her wheels. It's flat, so she can technically stand if she's straight-legged, but you can also adjust the angle. Like it actually rocks as if it were a actual wheel, which is actually a really neat little trick. So yeah, she actually makes a pretty decent little figure all on her own. And then, yeah, you notice that she has all of her tools dangling from the hooks, just like she did in IDW 1.0. So these, you're going to have to be a little bit tricky with them. They have to slide them into her hand from the bottom. But all of the tools are removable from the hooks. Here, I'll go ahead and I'll get the hammer out of her hand. So I'll slide it down and then kind of leverage it out just to make sure I don't accidentally break anything. It's a little bit tricky to do while also trying to keep everything on camera. There we go. And that is just going to hook right back onto her belly like that. And there, all of them can be done the same way. So you can use whatever tool you want with her. It's such a neat little figure. Oh, and also if you want her arms to look a little bit more accurate to how they did it in the show, or in the comic book rather, just rotate them to be parallel with each other. There you go. Simple as that. So she makes for a great addition to an already fantastic figure. As I said, Nickel doesn't get enough love, so I'm very, very happy that she got added into this. Because, honestly, like, it's not the DJD without her. It just isn't. So, there you go. That is AMK Pro Tarn. Genuinely, like, no hyperbole, no exaggeration. I think this is the best piece Yolopark has made yet. It is huge. It's heavy. Like, the first thing I noticed when I picked up the box is this thing weighs more than I think even Revenge of the Fallen Megatron weighed. But it's imposing, it's incredibly immaculately detailed, the articulation is just above and beyond. And getting Nickel is such a huge plus. Like, I don't even want to call her a bonus figure, I just want to say it's a really good 2-pack. So, there you go. So, once again, thank you very much to Yolopark for allowing me the chance to cover this figure. And again, if you want one of your own, please use the link in the description below. I would appreciate that very, very much. And that will do it for me today. So thank you very much for watching. I will see you next time. Hello everyone, I am Astral Agent Magnetar, a Tokusatsu VTuber, and I am streaming 4 times a week over on Twitch, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday afternoons, and a special late night one on late Friday/early Saturday. So come watch, come hang out, and let's make an impact together.